Hey. So you may have noticed that this is the Desert Explorer edition. Which reminds me of a good classic. Of course, it doesn't exactly go like that, but it's close. Heading out for the highway. Oh my gosh, really? Pardon me. Honey, I'm sorry to hear that. Couldn't avoid it or just need out? Naturally. Oh, sweetheart, I hope you get a vacation at some point this year. Sorry. I know. I might be asleep, but I'll see you maybe. So, here's the deal. I head out in the morning, bright and shiny, early. Before the sun, if there is one, I am leaving a very wet, dreary Washington State. The next day, Wednesday, I will arrive at 93 plus degree Phoenix, Arizona. I look very much forward to this. I'm not going to miss this weather. This weather sucks. And it's just been pounding out its sadness and aggression in sadness towards us for the last 6 months. We got one day of sun on Friday and a nice day of sun on Saturday, and then it was right back to crap. Washington can do better than this. We have before. We still have the temperature record. In Washington State, we have the high temperature record. Out of the entire 48, lower 48, we got it. Actually, this includes Alaska and Hawaii. So out of all 50 states, we got it. We got the highest temperature of 118 degrees. That's not the highest temperature ever recorded in the United States. This is the highest average daytime temp. And that was back in the 1930s. So I'd like that, you know. Yeah, it's basically British weather. It's so crap. It's just like rain. Just more rain, and then of course the water on the roadways, and they don't make the roads up here like they used to. We used to have very intelligent engineers that actually cared about how our roadways worked. Our roadways here used to be slanted like so the water would wash off to the sides, leaving you less. I'm not talking like a huge slant, but it's a slant like this. They don't do that now. They, you know, on our multi-lane highways, it's kind of like it's either flat or slightly bowl-shaped. It's not. So the water just collects on the road, and it's terrible. Most people slow down to like 55 in the 60 mile per hour zone. I did 45 today for 2 miles because nobody up front in that line of cars knew that, you know what, you can actually drive in this crap. You got good tires? Great. Speed up. You don't? Get out of the way. What are you doing on the freeway? But, you know, what do you do? So yeah, I leave tomorrow. You know what I ought to be doing? I should be playing Whitey. And there's a reason for that. Here we are. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. Because Whitey might not be coming home with me. Not that I have a sale down there, but I have something that I've got my eye on down there. Oh, yes. There we go. Oh my God, it's like a completely, because it's a completely different guitar. Now I'll have to get used to that. But no, still, yeah. If I can't sell it, and I've been trying to, well, I might as well trade it in. See what I can get. Now, it plays good. Sounds good. But I am not used to this radius. It's a little different on the, well, every other guitar I've got. This, just, I don't know, something about it that makes me want to skip these strings. You know, playing it. And, wow, maybe I should think about. Oh, by the way, day 60 of Meat and Only Meat. Buckethead's way of playing, you mean the Paul Gilbert fake technique? I can't really do it exactly the same. Yeah, in fact, I don't really do the fake Paul Gilbert thing. I think different people have different picking hands. Not everybody's going to play the same. I think that he plays a little too much like Paul Gilbert for my liking, and therefore, in a weird way, kind of steals his thunder. But the dude took lessons from Paul. So, there's that. The fact that he took lessons from Paul at GIT means that he's been around the block a while, and he was just, like me, very influenced by Paul Gilbert. And I've said it before, I want to play like, my hand says, play it like Paul. I'm not Paul, and I can't really play it like Paul, so, I'm comfortable with that. I think he should be more comfortable playing not like Paul also. That's my thing, though. As far as, like, his, crazy tapping, it's great. As far as his, approach to what is that called? The kill switch. Great. Very innovative. Very neat. But, no, he's released more albums than anybody. He has the Guinness Book of World Records for most albums ever. He's up in the 200-something. It's like 240 or something like that albums released. He has more albums than anybody. Any single artist has ever released. He's got it. Now, this is not including, of course, classical artists, but they're not the people who wrote all of those people are dead. So, like Mozart and Beethoven and Bach, yeah, they've technically probably released more albums under that name, but they aren't alive to see it, and it's all publicly, there's no copyright on this stuff. There's copyright on the performance, but there's not copyright on the writing. So, the way that works is, you can just play whatever you want, claim a copyright on, your performance of it, and call it good, but you can't actually get royalties for writing it. But, yeah, so they might have more, but, collectively, the classical cats. But they're dead. And he is not, and all of his music is copywritten to him. So here's Sitch. What was I going to tell you? The hand. As you can see, this is what's left of the burn. Right here. Feels kind of like armor. It's weird. Very, very solid, very dry, doesn't feel anything. I got like 70-year-old skin wrinkles right here. Blisters have popped. That one has finally gone down. And this one, apparently there was another one under there, but I popped this. I didn't mean to, but, popped this washing my car, and this happened because I was scratching it. I didn't know there was a blister there. Good times. But the hand is still pretty good. Is this a trick question? No, I have tiny hands. I have the hands that are proportionally accurate to a 5'3" individual. Keep in mind, I'm pretty short. So if I was to do this in meters, I would be under 2 meters by a good margin. So, so let's see here. What would that be? Oh, if I have to math this, I'm going to be in trouble. So, no. So the big hands stretch from fret 1 to fret 5 is pretty normal. Pretty easy. Fret 6, fret 7, I'm starting to have trouble. So if I was to do from fret 12, the 20th fret is not unusual. Depends on the chord, I guess, but I don't really have a problem playing most chords, including, you know, strange ones with all sorts of, like, well, let's see here, neat chords like that. But I don't have much trouble. I'm a very, very well trained rhythm guy. But most chords, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I would say that I have a hard time with some ridiculous stretches, but you see, that's where two-handed players come in. Let me tell you about this whole idea I've got about limitations. So most limitations that are physical, real physical limitations, can be overcome if you apply a lot of thought to it. And I don't mean like there's some crazy mental barrier, you know, that's preventing me from being able to stretch from fret 1 to fret 20. No, that's a legitimate physical barrier. I can't actually do that. So if I wanted to do this, I would have to think of a way that I could. That's where tapping comes in. Well, then explain me. I must be some sort of crazy anomaly. You don't have to be, you know, a freak tall 6'5" guy to play an instrument very well. I'm living proof. So is what is his name? Danny Spitz, who is like 4'10", 4'11". He's just a little guy, and I've got bigger hands than him, and I struggle playing some of the things he does because he's so ridiculously quick. I think genetics is important to a certain degree for any particular thing you do. If you have genes that give you 3 fingers, you're going to have a harder time than somebody with 4. But that's still not even completely true because, you know, you got guys like Carlos Cavazo of Quiet Riot, and he never uses his pinky. He just plays like... You know, and the pinky just flails down there but doesn't actually do anything. No, I really think that the majority of guitar playing or piano playing or anything like that is mostly down not to physical limitations, mostly, but how hard you actually try to play it. You know, how long, how many hours do you invest in actually doing it? That's where I think that most people have a limitation. They have time issues where they don't apply themselves, or they spend more time playing a video game than they do guitar. Or they spend more time at work than they do playing guitar, or cooking than playing guitar, or anything else. The point is that you actually have to invest time in doing it. And everybody has their own physical limitations to everything. You know, I've mentioned before that we can't actually fly, so we had to figure a way to be really creative with technology. So we could, but we can't physically do it. The only way we can do it is to try to figure out, is there a way around it? And so one of the things that I like talking about is like self-limitation. Before I've mentioned that I practiced just to improve my stretch with one finger behind the neck. And I would play pretty much everything that I know how to play. With 3 fingers only. So, I mean, that's... Let's see, I agree in instruments, side hard work. Hard work beats genetics on almost everything. So you can be genetically superior in every way, but if you don't actually practice, let's say you're a genetically superior runner, sure, but you don't, or it's in your genetics to be a genetically superior runner, but if you don't actually do anything about it, if you don't actually run, or if you don't practice running or work on those fast twitch muscle fibers, you're not going to be the fastest runner. Somebody who does do the work will. But, you know, genetics, of course, help, but it's not everything. Hard work is everything. Everything. And I mean, I used to practice as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I practiced for like, at my peak, it was like 16 hours a day. You know, it's summertime, it's hot outside. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd have a giant cup of coffee. You know, that giant teacup I have. I've been drinking cups of things like that since I was like 16. But I wake up in the morning, I'd, you know, walk outside with a big old cup of coffee, have a couple of cigarettes, walk back in, and immediately turn on Iron Maiden. You know, playing for like 4 hours. Okay, now it's time for band practice. So I'd pack up and go to band practice and then, play there for another 8 hours. And then I'd come home and I'd play for another like 8 hours or 12 hours or 16 hours or however long I was awake. So martial arts is very hard work, but it's, the martial arts portion of it helps IQ. The discipline actually trains your mind to be able to react and learn. So it does help. It doesn't help, everybody, but, it does help. Let's see. Well, you're also mentioning fight IQ. Okay, so genetics doesn't necessarily play a role in fight IQ. That's something that you learn while you're fighting. So, yeah. A lot of good fighters in clubs, but when it comes to real fight, they become frozen. Well, yeah, true, but, like you're saying, it's a fight IQ. Now, what's a fight IQ? So you might be talking about something that we would probably refer to as the warrior response here. So in training, versus the real thing, most of Americans, and it looks like you guys already knew this, but most over here who are doing things like MMA do it in a more realistic sense. They don't, do like the surprise thing like in Friends with Unagi and whatnot, but they do, more, kind of a realistic just combat your opponent. So when it comes time to actually fight, you'll be more apt to be able to do it because you're not knowing what to expect. And that alone makes you think and develops your fight IQ. So there you go. That's my opinion. I'll tell you one chord that I've always had a problem playing. Because this finger doesn't bend up this way naturally to me. And I was told once to play this major chord like this. And it just doesn't work for me. I like to play them like this. That way I can at least, do other things. That, but if I'm going to hit this string, I can do that. This finger's a weird freak. That's even better. Anyway, I get your point. Yes, they do. Just like some people are more in tune to trivia or, race car driving. So not everybody can do the Formula One thing. Not everybody can, but most of those people who can or do start as children, very small, and their parents put them in these go-karts, and the go-karts go around and around and around tracks, and they get very used to it, and they get better and better as they go. You put them in a car that can go a lot faster, that handles like a go-kart, like an F1, or really an F3, where people usually get their start, and it's a whole, it's a different ball game, but it's still a ball game that they're used to. They're still accustomed to it, and the same sensation of speed applies. So really, I don't know. I think that there are some physical limitations that can't be overcome. I can't play guitar like I play guitar now if I just suddenly didn't have arms. I just won't be able to overcome that like overnight. In fact, I'll never be able to overcome that entirely. But when I was a kid, this is the reason why I pause on this. When I was a kid, a guy came up from Southern California to play at our elementary school, grade school. And I was probably first grade, maybe second grade. And this guy didn't have any arms, and he played guitar and he sang. He played guitar with his feet. It was weird, but he did it. And of course, I was a kid. I didn't know it was weird, but I mean, to me, it'd be weird now, just watching that occur. And why is it weird? Man, wash those things. And, you wear socks all day, and it's got to be grungy. And, please, I'm meticulously clean and kind of a germaphobe. That's like, I would never do that. But it's a thing. So my thoughts on the physical limitations are, most of them can be overcome with a lot of thinking. And if you have a mind to do it. Like I said, it's a physical limitation that I can't play first fret to 20th fret, or the, first fret to the 12th to 24th. This is where, will come in handy. You have to think outside of that box. So playing guitar with his legs, he's very good. Well, again, physical limitations. There's a guy that I was watching And somebody who recommended it here. He was a student of Pete Black's, and he has a significant like deformity from birth, but he still plays guitar. I mean, really amazingly. He also does live stream. He's a nice guy, man. He's just the nicest guy, and he's got like 1 or 2 usable fingers, and he can still play King Diamond. The guy's a total inspiration. So again, it's just a matter of overcoming these kind of things. But a lot of times, overcoming it isn't just wishing. Most of the time, in fact, it's not a matter of just wishing you could overcome it. It's thinking about it, thinking really hard about how to solve problems, and going. I'm not ever going to say think critically, because that's misused for the last 30 years. I mean, people talk about, well, the children need to learn critical thinking. No, you can teach a child to be a cynic any day, very easily, by just questioning shit. What they're talking about is critical theory, which is Marxism. That's what they actually teach the children. And they use critical thinking exercises to point them in the direction of Marxism by using feelings as opposed to facts. And it's a bunch of crap. But that's what they've been doing here for 30 years now, at least. So, well, you got to teach them critical thinking. No. Teach them to be cynics. Yes. Teach them cynical methodology. Yes. But really teach them logic and stop telling them that their feelings matter as much as they do. They don't. If they're trapped in the woods, they can cry about it all they want. It ain't going to help them. Teach them how to think their way out of problems. The only way to do that is to present those problems. There's a great teacher of the year in New York. His name was John Taylor Gatto. Look him up. He's really, really, really cool. Smart guy. He used to take his students to educate them. He would take them and drop them off several miles from anywhere and make them make their way home, see if they could figure out a way to do it. He would make them start businesses. He would make them do all sorts of things like that, put them in unusual circumstances to make them think and force them to adapt to their circumstance and overcome it. And you know what? His students did amazing. Just amazing. Made good things of themselves. And he won, like I said, New York City Teacher of the Year. But he couldn't do it anymore. He quit and left a scathing letter in the New York Times about it, about how schools actually fail children by not actually teaching them how to get on, by showing them how to get on. All it does is give them a bunch of, teach to the test factoids and teaches them how to, be emotional. You're a human. You're going to be emotional anyway. It's a thing. Let me play a little groove here. Yes. Slightly off time, oh no! It is important to note that Angus Young himself does not. That the recording was done picking. This is how you get the sound of it being picked when he plays it. But since it came out, you see him doing it this way. And if you wanted to continue, you don't have to hold your hand in the air, though. You can do other things. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be possible, but it doesn't have the same sound, and that's the effect of it. But that also shows you the effect of media on the human psyche. You see him do this. Here. And that creates some sort of like a cognitive problem, because we see him doing it with one hand, so we think he's doing it with one hand, when if we just listen, he's not. So, I think my amp just farted. Weird. Anyway, can I play says sometimes I hit the other strings while doing some pull-ups. Well, so the trick here would be that 10-minute exercise that I used to talk about, the 10. This will teach you two things. It'll teach you, well, for one, that you can, in fact, play these kind of things without hitting the other strings adjacent to you. But the technique to do it is very specific. It's pretty precise. So you can do it here and work on that specifically. And the pull-off itself, keep in mind, we're not really just pulling straight down. The pull-off is a pick note here. So if I'm going slowly like that, you have a little bit of freedom. So the slow, when I pull off the string, like I'm picking it there, I'm resting my finger on the string that's nearby. So I'm not doing anything with it. Let me hold that up real close. As you can see, my finger is on the string, but it's just resting on the string. The faster you go, the harder it is to do that. So, again, not muting anything here. Your motions have to become quick and short, which is natural to me because I'm both quick and short. So, you do it without distortion? That's good. Let's do it without distortion. Maybe if I kept it in the same key. Actually, that wasn't the same key. So that what I'm telling you though is much like with my advice on when your picking hand changes posture with with increased speed. So if I play like this, I will not be playing like that when I do the posture changes, but it does that in a kind of a natural way. So when you play it, just know that your motions are going to have to change. So imagine this is a finger, and I play slowly on string, pull off. So the faster I go, the less room I have to pull off because I have to come back and hit the string again. So to do that, you have to just kind of hit and move back. Hit and move back in a little circle. Where that circle is created could be any joint in the finger, but the ones that move the least are the ones that you're going to want to use. So me, it's this one and this one, but even that's going to move just a little bit. This guitar is going to go bye-bye. It's why I'm playing it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to have this guitar in a few days, so I might as well go ahead and play it now. So yeah, not bad. And you're very welcome, no problem. Just keep that in mind that, you know, when you're walking, your legs are going to do one thing. And this is weird, but I'm going to tell you to do it. The next time you get up to walk somewhere, keep in mind how you're walking. Really think about what it is that you're doing when you're walking. You know, what your legs are doing, what your feet are doing, what your toes are doing, how you're swinging your arms, what your posture is. I really want you to analyze everything that you're doing in the moment while you're doing that. And the reason why I want you to do that is the next time you go somewhere after that, like come out, let's say you walk to the bathroom, okay, run out of the bathroom. Pay attention to the differences. You don't do that naturally. You just do it, right? You don't think about all that stuff. But when you do it naturally, you are still changing all that stuff. So that stuff that's really critical analysis that I gave to what it is that my fingers are doing, that's all just natural. All you do is you work on doing the thing over and over and over again, and eventually everything kind of catches up. But you have to understand that maybe if you're practicing large movements, small movements are better, but if you're practicing large movements, to really get that hammer in there, this is not going to translate to fast. That's about as fast as you'll be able to go. So let me tell you about this guitar before it goes bye-bye. By the way, I always see a face here, like two eyes with a tongue sticking out. But it's just something I can't get over now with Vinnie Jackson. When I got this, I'm the third owner. The first owner decided to remove the pickups that came with it. If you look on the back, you'll see that it's got a spot for actives, the battery. So it had actives in it. This is the not the DX24, but the DX2. I think that's what it is, the DX2. It was the more expensive model of the X series. So the DX, for as far as dinkies are concerned, the DX24, it's up there a bit. And he took out those and put in some P90s. The P90 Fat Cats from Seymour Duncan. Not for me. He also did some terrible things to this particular saddle. I had to replace it, but instead of just replacing, I replaced all of them. Put in some decent humbuckers. And these are actually from Guitar Fetish. They're not from my normal guy. My normal guy, I did not buy them from you. I am sorry. You did not have chrome pickups for what I wanted at the time. So otherwise I would have got them from you. Anyway, so that's that. But I got the guitar for much less than it was retailing for because it had been altered. Retail price was around $800. And I got it for $400 and made it a $500 to $600 guitar. So also, it plays a lot better than it did when I got it. I had to give it a fret job as usual because low action is important. I like low action. I don't like action where I have to work at it too much. But that's one of the reasons why I'm selling this. It plays very, very well, but I still feel in some circumstances that I kind of have to work for it a little harder than I feel like I need to. And it also has a very stiff feel. All Jacksons tend to have a stiff feel. Something that the Ibanez's don't have. The Ibanez's, when you play them, they kind of feel like they have a little bit of give. And when I'm saying a little bit of give, it's like when you hit the note, it just feels like it's spongy a little bit for some reason. Not like it's going to break or anything, but just, like a soft embrace that says, yes, play me. And it's just different. This is the stiff feeling guitar. And I'm back into the Ibanez camp. Pretty much full on. I went Jackson because Jacksons are cool. You can't escape that. And yeah, they do play really well. But my hands say I'm an Ibanez guy. And that ESP. Oh, I like that little groove though. Instead, what you getting? If you're getting something, I hope you're getting something. What are you getting? And I hope you don't miss it too terribly much. So, because I have a tendency when I get rid of something, I miss them. Like my EVH, I did a quick video for it before I went ahead and I traded it in, or traded it to the guy for the 7-string, plus a whole bunch of other shit. And you know what? Yeah, that was a good sounding amp, and it was always there for me. Where my Ironheart was giving me some troubles, even though I love the sound of it, it was always there. It sounds great. It was a good amp. So I'll play the Orange Amp Blues for you. I just wrote it. There's a little whoopsie, but that's a good point. Let me get you guys on tube amps before I'm done, though. Singing the praises of that little guy back there, that 15 watt or 1 watt, depending on what you're plugged into, fully tubed, 6 of them in there. Yep, 6 of them in there. 4 preamp tubes, 2 power amp tubes, tube amp. And of course you're going to need a speaker cabinet for it, but man, it just sounds so good. And of course I'm just playing a clean tone right now. Let's talk about this shape. This is a 7, and it wants to go home. Here, very obvious. But did you know that's not the only home for it? Sounds perfectly good to me. Each note, the reason why 7ths, by the way, want to go home. The reason why they want to go home so much is essentially every note in the chord is 1 note away from the resolution. So this is literally 1 note here or here, away. But it is also 1 note away here. So that's, you have choices. You always have choices. What are you playing? All right, great. Where are you going to take it? You have choices. So, when it comes to classical playing, orange amps are very good. Yes, it's very true. Very, very true. I mean, and look, just because I'm mostly a Laney guy doesn't mean that, I don't like other amps too. But I can't... I know what that sound was. Sorry. I could show you guys. So my wife, of course, is off, now over to Kitten Rescue. She had the night off, but she went to Kitten Rescue, and one of the volunteers called out. And that's something that we sorely need up here. If anybody from the state of Washington around Mason County is listening, we need volunteers drastically at Kitten Rescue. And all you need to do is clean out some cages, pet some cats, feed them, make sure that they have water, and that's it. That's what you've got to do. You just actually have to show up and do it. And we need some good volunteers out there. But otherwise, my wife is working 7 days a week. Well, she's watching right now 4 babies that basically the mama cat doesn't want to have anything to do with. And they're babies. They say, oh, it's 6 days old. They're underweight for 6 days. They're underweight for being born. They are literally a day old. You know it. Anyway, so she's feeding them. She's got a week-old kitten that she's feeding. And this is awake for every 2 hours and, literally syringe bottle feeding. So, yeah. But at any rate, what was I going to say about that? Orange Amp, classic playing. I lost my train of thought. Not uncommon. Oh! Here's one. 60 days of being on the carnivore diet. 60 days. I had a carb today. I didn't just have one. I had a bunch of them. They're wheat thins. I didn't have a bunch, but I had like about a handful, small handful. My hands are small. And so I had a small handful of wheat thins. And I didn't eat them all at once. And here's something that I got to tell you that I noticed. Wheat thins are salty, okay? When I took a bite of it, it tasted like vanilla cake. I haven't had carbs forever, and the amount of sugar that's in there, as a carb eater at the time, I used to think they were just salty as all get out. No, they're not salty. There's added sugar, and I could just, it's like, whoa, wow, holy crap, these things are sweet. I didn't remember them as being sweet, so it was weird, but they're the original flavor. I guess if you just eat a lot of carbs all the time, which I used to, yeah, we're actually eating a whole lot of sugar. So, surprise, surprise. I'm going to go for the gain channel now. Thing is fat and super sound. That's not so bad. But no, you're absolutely right. How did that go? Oh, yeah. Which I'm not going to listen to. I might listen to the whole, that thing. Caps lock is on. But I've got a plan! I like those double stop bends. You should try them. But at any rate, let's see here. No, so here's a few things that I'm packing. Packing wedding clothes. I'm packing toiletries. All the good stuff. Everybody needs them. I'm packing like 2 different pairs of shoes besides the ones that I'm going to wear down there. I'm packing, let's see, snacks, road food, a couple of bags of beef jerky, those wheat thins. God, I'm not going to eat much more of those. I'm just packing a little baggie of them. I'm going to try to stay away from them. I used to just eat the daylights. I love wheat thins, but nope. That's different. That's weird. And now that I can recognize that, I can just kind of go, ugh. And also my body had a funny reaction to it. It's like, sugar? Did you eat sugar? My heart started racing, and it was weird. It was a weird feeling. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to pull back from that. But I got this black light. Now you might be thinking, Kirk, yes, why would you want to take a black light with you? To see the blood stains on the floor of the hotel you're staying? Well, maybe. But really it's for scorpions. So, the little ones that you don't want in your shoes show up real bright with these. And since my friend Joel has lived down there, I'm be staying at his place. Uh, Apparently, he's only found one of them in the house. So they go out and they do regular killings, but yeah, he found one in the morning. Like right there. Sent me a picture of it. Hey, look what I found this morning. So I'm not really cool about scorpions. I don't like arthropods or arachnids, and I'm sure I'm going to get to go on at least one arachnid hunt for black widows while I'm down there. I'm also kind of weirded out about other basic things like, all right, so I'm going to be on a ranch. Yes, okay, great. You guys got rattlesnakes down there, don't you? Sure. I know the rattlesnakes will eat the little critters that cause the hantavirus that's usually around that area, but and I don't want the hantavirus either. But I certainly don't want to step on a rattler on accident or, walk up to my car and hear, nope, don't want that. Any questions? Philosophical thoughts and stuff? I mentioned this before. I'm not going to be streaming on Saturday. I've got a wedding to attend, and I've got a thing to hit here a lot. But I have a wedding to attend, and I'm far too, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I will be streaming on Monday, the drive back. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be showing up, but at some point I'm going to be pulling over, getting my camera ready, and then filming me driving to just talk, because why not? But no Saturday morning pajama jam. It just ain't gonna happen. But if all goes to plan, I may arrive home around the time I'm streaming anyway. So Monday, that is. I planned on leaving Sunday Sunday morning. Break of dawn, great. Arise, gone, because Joel and his wife will already be flying to, or flown really, to Disney World for the honeymoon. Okay, great, cool. Heard yesterday one small monkey wrench got thrown into that, and they're not taking a red-eye flight out Saturday night. It'll be Sunday night that they're leaving. And they want to have brunch with me on Sunday. Okay. So I get to leave after that. So it's essentially, get up in the morning, pack my car. When it's time to go to brunch, we go to brunch. And then right after that, I'm heading out. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, that's that. Wrong string. So, you guys ought to try this. I used to sit down, and a couple of the things that I used to do a long time ago. So this is like, ancestral knowledge practically, because it was back in like 1990 when I realized I started doing things, and I'm realizing that now, that I would do like over and over and over again. And to try to escape the trope, I would put a barrier there. Go like, all right, the things that you would normally play, do not play. Or I noticed that I stop after like a certain amount of time, and I would force myself to not like stop, as in like, something like that. And it would be like just a couple of bars of a little bit of quickness, and then, maybe a bit of expressiveness. Well, I would deliberately stop doing that. I would be like, all right, I'm just going to keep playing for 2 minutes straight and never stop. And I will play only like eighth notes. Click, 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 click. And as soon as I detect I'm playing something like I'm, over and over again, that I've noticed myself doing, I'll immediately change that. And I do that a lot, so. And then screw up all the way at the end. But, you know, that's a way of building dexterity. It's a way of building, you know, like your mind up to try to at least, you know, figure out what your problems are and then bust through them. It's like saying a lot. You know, that's and you know, and so those are just kind of like filler speech things. So like that, it's a matter of being mindful of it and trying to work your way around it. Yes, Return of the White Jackson, wink, because this is the last time you'll see it. All right. How do they go? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I did not sell it, but I will be leaving tomorrow on a journey of desert proportions. I'm heading to be reborn like a phoenix. So I'm heading to Phoenix, and I'm going to trade this in for something that I had my eye on for about 3 months now. That's at a particular music store down there. And I just hope that they give me more money than I think they're going to. But that's all I can say. You know, they're probably going to give me like $300 for it in trade, and I'll be like, yeah, all right, whatever. So yeah, just go ahead, take it. I want the other thing more than I want this, and I intended to pay for it anyway. So I would have preferred to have sold it. It would have been much better for me. But let me tell you, though, the market is not there. Most of the time, people are using guitars and equipment or other things as currency to procure things like this. It's tax time, right? People are getting their tax returns here in the States. Where's the people buying guitars? I got a lot of them for sale, and they're good. Nothing. I got hits for trades, and I don't want trades, even though I'm going to be trading them in. Not all of them, just one of them. But yeah, it's what Floyd is that? Okay, so this is just a. Let's see if I can remember exactly. This is a Korean-made special, or not Korean, but you know, well, yeah, it is Korean. It's a Korean-made Floyd Rose special. It's not the 1000. I do have a 1000 on the Dean, but this is not that. It, of course, has kind of crap zinc saddles. Although the material that, you know, like what is that called? The string, like the hammer that affixes, you know, to it. I can't think of the name of that, but it's like the saddle block. So the saddle block itself is made of steel, but the saddle itself is not. It's just made of cast zinc. And when I got this guitar, the high E was pretty well ruined. It was completely stripped, threaded. The threads were stripped here, and there was no way of really holding the block in anymore. So I replaced all of them with stainless steel, and it's like raw stainless, so essentially like silverware. But because this is a similar look, I figured it would match, it would work out, and it did. So I do highly recommend, if you have a Floyd Rose special, you know, the cheap ones, grab yourself a set of these. These are like $20. That's it. You know, you can get the colored ones for more expensive, you know, for more money. If you want the black ones, you'll spend like $50 or $60 for them. Floyd Rose makes them too, so you know you can get a real Floyd Rose one. And anyway, once you do that, it's going to be fine. A lot of times you're going to need to replace the base plate as well, because the specials again are just cast zinc. They will have problems with the hardened knife edges keeping an edge. So these edges here tend to chip out a lot. And I've replaced 2 base plates. I don't believe this was one of the ones I replaced, but still, no, I think the green Jackson upstairs and the black Jackson, I replaced both of those. Oh, and actually on this ESP as well, even though this has a Floyd Rose 1000 on it. So, yeah. You're right. Specials can be special. Very special. So. Well, let me tell you this. As soon as I put these saddles on, a tone change happened. This whole guitar feels like a living thing now when you play. I mean, it just feels like, oh yeah, you really did something. The notes ring clearer. Everything is clearer. It's better. Oh, they ring longer too, even with the noise gate on. I was thinking the other day, yesterday, watching some MST3K and playing, like you do, when my cat wasn't on my lap at the time. This. Common, good, you know, all that kind of good stuff. Well, you can extend that a little bit and still play along. You know, you're just kind of limiting to yourself as to which key you're playing in. Is it D major? Is it, you know, D mixolydian? In this case, it's D mixolydian. No. That would be here. Or, if you wanted to be really kind of weird about it, bunch of whole steps. So that is actually kind of weird. Because I want to go. And it's not what it is. See, that really just wants to do the thing. Yes. In fact, you can get USA-made steel parts for Floyd's. That's why when I replace the base plates, I buy those. So they don't wear out. Tested a note while watching a tuner. Turn the guitar face down and then up. If it moves, the edges are good. Yes, correct. Another way to tell is this. If you go like this, and you go like this, it doesn't go back to pitch, or go like this, you know, up, and it doesn't go back to pitch, your edges are bad. And that's why I've replaced two of them. So when because I'm playing, and it goes back to sharp. You know, I'm like, what? No, it's not returning to neutral. There's a problem. So yeah, that's, and it becomes obvious when there's a problem. You know, you will know. So if it was like this, and then suddenly it's like this, or it's like this, and after you go down like so, and suddenly it's like this, you know, you're gonna know. So because everything will be out, and it's just, it sucks. And I want to tell you, in my entire playing experience, 36 years, 37 this year, I have never once, until last year with Floyd Rose Specials, ever had a problem with knife edges in any guitar I've ever played, ever. So, yeah, well, last year and the year before. But this is like a new thing. It's like, you know, we can make that out of soft metal too. They'll just have to buy more stuff for it. Might as well just buy a Floyd Rose 1000 or a USA made one. Or a German made Schaller. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Although, I have had Schallers do some weird shit before. Like, I've had the stainless steel saddle blocks. Now, I've played Floyd's for a long time, but I've had those blocks crack in half under pressure. Don't like that at all. There it is. nice note to end it on. Weird, but good. But that's something else that I would say about my Jackson here is that playing up high a lot and the dexterity wanes quickly. I can do the same thing on my Ibanez, and it just doesn't happen. And neck shapes are critical for stuff like that. So no two person's hands are the same. Some hands are going to respond better to certain things, and that's that. So early USA Floyd Rose Ridge. Did you really? Holy smokes. Okay, dude, right on. Hey, there's a guy out there with a whole channel dedicated to the entire history of every Floyd Rose unit. Have you seen it? Because the guy's pretty awesome. He really details a lot of stuff, like the subtle improvements that Japanese engineers at Fernandez made. And, you know, just watching these things, it's like, you know, it kind of went back and forth. You know, they took like the original Floyd Rose, which was on very limited stuffs, like the very first one went to Van Halen, that kind of thing. And then they went, you know, they kind of grew from there, and then they went over and said, hey, Fernandez, could you make these for us? And they said, sure. And then they started to make their own with subtle improvements. And then Floyd came up with a new design with like double locking. And but yeah, it's fascinating because you're really, you know, looking at this and going, yes, this is a subtle trade battle. But what you're really seeing is geniuses at work, taking a product and improving it, in spite of the fact that they were having some legal spats back and forth. It was awesome. It's a great channel. And if I can find it, I'll put it in the description. Let me go and see if I can source that now. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to a clean time. Kill that. Oh no, bad knife edges. Let's see. Oh, getting hot. There we go. All right, don't worry, everybody. I bought sunscreen for the trip. It shall be a good time. Oh, and I have two monitors again. It's a lovely thing. They came in. Actually, I think I already told everybody that on Saturday. But yes, they came in last Friday. I installed them. Holy crap! What a thing! What a thing! If you can, they are so choice. I do highly recommend them. So 32-inch curved monitors for, I mean, basically a song. Holy crap. Good stuff. All right, so this is on YouTube. Couldn't help but notice that it got a little dimmer when I went to YouTube here. Almost like saying, nah, man, you really shouldn't do that. Let's see here. But no, I'll make a report from the road at some point. Maybe, you know, collaborate, you know, collect a video or two about my experiences while I'm down there. Who knows? Maybe I'll pretend that I'm some sort of like beard versus food blogger, you know, going into the music store and whatnot. Hey, I'm here to trade you this fine Jackson for that, you know, and we'll go on from there. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen in a similar way. Oh, look, you guys can see my stuff. Look, that Star Wars girl. Hey, I actually don't ever watch her videos. She's kind of, you know, smart, but irritating at the same time. So, let's see here. Going on with the story. Although, I will recommend Basecamp with Malcolm and Simone. Turn it down as soon as you click on the video because it always starts out with an extremely loud and just, to me, obnoxious, "Hello, Simone!" Once that goes, it's a bunch of stream of consciousness thought. So, anyway. The wife and I are 34, 4K, easy on the eyes, good for you. Yeah, you know what? These are 32 2K, so I'm halfway there. So, and it's much easier on the eyes. Very nice. I run like 175 hertz refresh rate. It's nicer overall. Curved, yes. So I would go for 34 if I was more than an arm's length away from my monitors. So I am not. So even when I'm kicking back, it's kind of like, all right, I'm just looking at my old monitors. All right, great, but they're curved and nice. So, it's all overall upgrades. Anybody who can do it, please, by all means, do it. And for God's sakes, get more than one. You got to have more than one. You know, anybody who just works with one monitor, I honestly don't know how you do it anymore. I worked with one monitor here for a week, and I was like going out of my mind, going like, I want to put it over there. It's got to go over there. No hyper, no, excuse me, no hyper, I wanted to say hyperbole. I know it's no hyperbolicness, you know, no hyperbole. Seriously, it needs to be over there. I need to have another screen. You know, it's, once you're used to it, you're used to it. You get kind of jaded about everything else. Well, let's see here. If I can search, you know what they ought to allow you to do is search in your subscriptions holistically, which would be really, really cool. You know what? I'm just going to search for Floyd Rose history. ROSEHISTORY. Hey, I can still spell. Let's see. The Guitar Historical Archives. Yeah, I think it's the guy. Yeah, it's totally the guy. This is great. There's like literally hundreds of these episodes, and I will just get the Guitar Historical. And when I say that, it's like six videos. Oh no, I'm wrong. Well, there was a USA Hammer Californian review on this that I almost bought once. It was relatively inexpensive, and I was thinking, I should have that. It's a very nice guitar. But maybe I'm going to revisit saying hundreds and just go ahead and say, they have a history of Rand guitars, too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, 63 videos, but lots and lots of stuff to watch. Let me go ahead and grab that, pop it over to YouTube Studio, into where I'm at right now, content. Now is the winter of our disc content. Ha. Perhaps during the winter I will put up something as dumb as that. So let me go ahead and Floyd history. Blam. And of course, this has nothing to do with me, but it should show up if you refresh the page in the description now. And then you can just go there and it'll be lovely. That's hard to do. So that is a limitation of small hands. That's much easier. I used to work on things like this, or even, so I'd go up with an arpeggio, and then as soon as I hit this note, instead of hanging on it, it's not perfect, of course, I haven't worked on it in a long time, but that's something I used to work on. But, you know, you might find that actually kind of easy. Relatively. Coming from the other way. It's actually more difficult, to me at least. Let's try it. Not tres stress. How about Before You Dress Caress? Oh, sorry, you said something before that. Most people do not understand that a curved monitor more effectively makes the screen wider. Aside from the focal point, less stress, easier on the eyes. Of course, he means stress. So. Let's talk about triads, because that's part of this now, is the tangents and triads. But no, you're right. It's actually really, really cool. And much more immersive, oddly enough. So let's see. I watched The Lost Boys. And yeah, holy crap. That was actually really a neat experience. Like, wrapped around me a little bit. I mean, look, it's about my arm span here, you know, as far as like what I'm looking at for monitors. Centered arm span. That's the inch. So, I mean, I still have a bar here, and I'm only watching all these on one monitor, so it's a little over here, but it's much, much cooler. Very nice. No glare whatsoever, by the way. And there's ZZA monitors available from Amazon. So, cheap in comparison. Like I said, I replaced 28-inch monitors, flat ones, with these, and I paid $300 for one and $189 for the second one. I paid less than $300 for these two. See if I can do this with a little game. This is the proof in the pudding about pinch harmonics being natural harmonics or like tapped harmonics. This you can do it with by just placing your thumb, you know. Let's do a little bit of chicken picking. I use my ring finger for that. It looks like this one. I'm not using this one. I'm using the one behind it. So, and that's fat of the finger, not the nail itself, but the fat of the finger on the string and pluck through. Fat of the finger on the string, pluck through. Just like classical. Pick it with your ring finger or your middle finger, whatever's more comfortable for you. 12-8-0. Like so. But just, and then pick on the A note on the B string. That's difficult. Don't do that. Just do this. But be careful. If you work on this too much, you might want to do this more often. So, which I used to play like, or pick it. Down, up, down, up. But that's the point that we're going to be getting to. Or up, if you wanted. Type of thing. No, well, I've seen both live. I can tell you that Yngwie can play some Yngwie-licious things that I've never experienced a guitarist with as much dexterity as Yngwie. Ever. Most of the time, some, you know, like me, for instance, I'll start to slow down, and if I don't start to slow down, the technique begins to break down at a certain point. I can akin that to, you know, gravity increasing on you as you reach the speed of light. Nah, he's even got a song that describes it. He's faster than the speed of light. The guy's just a neutrino. That on a technical merit only, Yngwie's got him. Yngwie's got everybody. Nah, well, maybe everybody. I've just never seen anybody like it. I mean, I've seen a lot of guitar players, man. I admire a lot of guitar players. Yngwie is different. Yngwie is built different. There's something about I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything. I mean that so sincerely. I have never experienced anything so humbling as seeing Yngwie play for 2 hours in front of my face. He's so good. He's just so good. Now, one can argue who writes better songs. I don't care for Chickenfoot, but I like a lot of most of Joe's early work. Not of This Earth, that whole thing, all of it. Especially if you listen to things like Memories. Yes, that's right. I used to know how to play the whole thing. I don't remember. Anyway. Yes. No. My God, I can't believe that. So anyway, that kind of thing. It really, I don't know. Satch has got this very vocal style. It's a beautiful thing. So, but that's completely subjective. It's like arguing how do you like your food cooked, or what food do you like? Finger starting with the index, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I started 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 4, 2, 4. I could hardly play 70 or hardly do 70 beats per minute at 16th notes. Now at the top doing 150. So are we talking about that whole, or just? So if you're just doing this, I'm just going to tell you now, doing it on one string is going to do you a disservice. Or doing it this way, where you're going down in like sixth groupings. If I played it in the same key. Make sure you end it like that. That's important. Yeah. Something kooky, so let everybody know that you're not serious. Has everybody seen Headbangers Ball from MTV? I'm curious. I'm old, of course, but I'm curious that how many people have actually. So yes, good. In key, good. Yes, very important. So if you're doing, try to skip around a little bit, and remember that in order to play things faster, you typically have to do things differently. So keep in mind that, relaxed, good. Hitting strings too hard, bad. Hitting strings just right, good. So I'm going to put this. Calibrate yourself before you play. How hard do you have to hit the string to make a note with your finger? I'm going to press down from nothing, for just touching the string. And then I'm going to press down until a note sounds. I don't have to press harder than that. You do the same with this. Okay, I don't have to press harder than that. Same with this one. Okay, good. Try not to move too far. Extraneous movements like this tend to make people slower. No, minimize your movement. It's better. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're doing there. So maybe it's just, oh yes, 1, 3, no, 1, 4, 3, yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, maybe I should have paid more attention to that. Something like that. Neat! Something like that. I have to remember it's second, because I'm really used to this exercise. So to me, I'm gonna go muscle memory with that. But this. It's cool. In fact, that might be the most interesting exercise I've come across in a while. So thanks, man. Very cool. All I have to do, you see, is pay attention more, and I'll learn something. So. Yeah. So that's hard to do. That's why I'm so sucky at it. I'm not used to it. But this is something that I used to play. Once I'd go down there, whatever the lowest note was, I would start a scale shape out of that. So. And then just move along. Well, with the exception of Thursday, I'm basically getting no guitar practice for the next... several days, and that's going to bother me. I have a guitar in my trunk. When I arrive, it goes in the house. The next day, it goes away. The day after that, I got to hide the other one in the house. And then, when I leave, I'll have it in my trunk, and hopefully it doesn't get baked. Because wherever I have to stop, I don't want somebody to go, oh, look, a guitar. No, it's going to be in the trunk under blankets. Headbangers Ball. So Joe Satriani was on the Headbangers Ball. He hosted it, co-hosted it, that is, with Adam Curry for the first hour of the first Headbangers Ball I ever saw. And I think that was in 1987 or 1988. We basically never had MTV before. This was new. This was very cool. And he started out with some sort of like... type of thing. And it was just really amazing to behold, and I was just absolutely like sucked in. It must have been, God, yeah, it must have, I wasn't a guitar player yet. It must have been 1988. But I was just enraptured with it. There was a reason why I brought this up. It's because doing something silly at the end is something that you have to, you can't take yourself too seriously. And not everybody has to do exactly the same silliness, at the end. But even back then, before I took guitar, I basically got my first guitar lesson from Joe Satriani from the Headbangers Ball when he was giving Adam Curry a lesson in guitar faces. So, like, imagine doing a sound like this. Now, to emote this kind of thing, imagine you just put a piece of real hot potato in your mouth and it burns a bit. Adam Curry, of course, complied and did the same thing. He's like, now if you want to add a little humor to it, open your eyes real wide when you're doing it. So, hot potato, open the eyes. That kind of thing. And it was really, really cool. And, most guitar faces are kind of inadvertent, but, if you really decide to be kind of, one of those psychopaths that have to mimic people's expressions in the mirror, if you don't know how to do, real expressions of your own. Because believe me, as a guitar player, and I've learned, I make a lot of faces, interesting faces, in fact, while I play. I had to be told about it one time. Kirk, did you know when you play Creeping Death, your mouth goes like... No! Dude, record yourself. Watch it back, So... And for years, for several months, I concentrated after I saw that, in fact, I was like, I would concentrate on, all right, what am I doing up here? And I was. The part of my brain that was wired to do the things with the hands was also wired to move my mouth. It's part of the language section, really, All right. So let me talk to you about that. The 1-4-2-4 still mess up. So just play that like this. Play it before bed. Like, I'm gonna go to bed here. I'm actually kind of late to it. I mean, the sun's still out, and I hate that, but I got to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and start my drive at 6. So this, switching it up to the 1-4-3-4. You could really trick yourself out and do this. You seeing that? That's weird, but so this, just do that one thing over and over again. It's going to be hard to push past it. It's not like just doing everything in a row. That's kind of easy in comparison. But what's the point of playing it that fast? It just kind of sounds like a bunch of nonsense, right? Oh, I know, dude, you're doing good. But as even Rick Beato pointed out with Jordan Rudess, whom I'm not a huge fan of, but he can play some mean improvisational Bach. I'll give him that. I just don't like the way he compliments Dream Theater, but he himself is an amazing musician. It makes a difference. So here's the thing that I was going to say is that he's been playing guitar for 4 years, and he works on things like this. He's not quite there, but he's getting there, and it's pretty neat just to see him try to get his footing on the instrument that is completely alien to him. That he doesn't really he knows notes, but on a piano, no note really repeats itself. We got the same like C it just repeats all over the place, right? So the thing is that he's trying to get used to is that the same notes are pretty much everywhere. So he's got some of that. But he's been playing for 4 years, and it's great. And as Rick Beato said right after that is like, hey, this just goes to show. And Jordan Rudess, amazing pianist, started that at age 64. He's 68 now. So there you go. You can learn an instrument at any time. You can get good at an instrument at any time. And that's exactly what he said, and I agree with that completely. One of the things that my grandfather, when he was about your age, actually said to me at the time. No, he was like 62. I had him pick up. No, he was about your age. I had him pick up a guitar and try to do this. Just doing this though. My grandfather loved the blues. Probably was one of the reasons why I didn't. But one of the reasons why, and I saw B.B. King at 15. It was an amazing experience. And the last lick he played of the night was, it was just some insanely fast thing. It's like, holy crap, he's been holding back. But yeah. So he was like, I can't do it, grandson. I'm like, this is your first time ever doing anything on a guitar. And he could do that, but he didn't quite have the rhythm. And if he kept going, he passed away somewhere around, I want to say 82, and not 1982, but 82 like years of age. If he just kept going, he would have been fine. Or even doing, and playing Unskinny Bop. By the way, there is a show out called Nothing But a Good Time. It's the history, the rise and fall of like 80s hair metal, and it's fabulous. They actually spend a good amount of time talking about Randy Rhoads in the first episode. They call it kind of the first wave. So it starts weirdly with like Quiet Riot and Motley Crue, and they move on. And a lot of it's of course accurate. I've seen a lot of things that aren't, but yeah, a lot of things are, and I'm just happy they gave a lot of credit to Randy. But they didn't pay as much attention to other things that made it just as big, and without which we wouldn't have any music in the 80s like we had. Van Halen. They should have spent more time on Van Halen, but they did not. So, oh well. But, things like this. is like direct forerunner to... Without one, you don't get the other. You just don't. You know, thanks to Van Halen, we had everything else that came after that. Except for the Yngwie influenced. So, you know, and Yngwie was not necessarily a Van Halen guy. So he plays some, you know, mean other stuff besides the neoclassical things, but yeah. Well, look. For lack of better words, I am not going to be on Saturday, as I mentioned before, and I am going to have to kind of, you know, gather my things together, maybe put a few things out in the car tonight, and, you know, get ready to blitz, take off, hit the road, Jack. But I'll come back, I hope. But if I don't, and you don't hear from me or next Saturday at the very least, or actually I'd probably, you know, somewhere around Tuesday or Wednesday, go ahead and do a stream anyway, just to make up for Monday. Can I play some Yngwie? I'll play some slow Yngwie. No? No, I'll wait. Oh, it's D. How do they go? Yeah. How did that go? Hey, yeah. Something like that. Unsubbing you hoser. Oh, you ass. So let's see. But as far as the Yngwie stuff also goes, that kind of a... type of thing. Yeah. How do they go? No. Oh my God. Actually, I think it was... or whatever it is, so... let's see. What would you have to say to be banned or timed out? Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. I really, really do. Kid or not. I'm only 6 years younger than you, you know. So... I don't know. I don't know if she realizes she has that power yet, but she does. She can boot people. So there you go. Something bad about it. What if I said something bad about it? So we could also do this, which is, you know, what I was kind of doing. I'm gonna have to work on that because that makes me want to play that now. But... That's it. There. Ha And then there's also the very common... No. I don't know. Play Yngwie-esqueness. But, you know, the funny thing is when I started really listening to Uli Roth, That's when I started to sound like Yngwie, because I would take things that are kind of Uli-like, that whole, and really hit that vibrato hard. You know, and I would do, you know, Uli-esque things, and people would point out, hey, you sound like Yngwie. And I'm like, I'm not meaning to sound like Yngwie. So, but yeah, you know, listening back, you're kind of right. It did sound a little like Yngwie. Well, what do I do to not sound like Yngwie? Not try to play like Uli. Ah, that's a good idea. Or maybe take other things into account besides the ear, you know. How did I do that? Oh my God. Ah, yes. It's kind of Yngwie-ish, but this is something that he would definitely do. And it's just kind of this neat thing. It's this rise and fall, and it's not an even number of notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have a total of 15 notes that you are forcing into a 4/4 time frame. So, you know, type of deal. And you know what? It works. Not when I play it like that. But that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And people are like, you're Yngwie. I'm not Yngwie. And, you know, after seeing Yngwie, wow, I am way not Yngwie. So. That's a cute one. Playing this. Sure. I think that's better. That sounds nuts. Doesn't that sound nuts? This. I mean, you could do all that all day long. It's kind of neat. But this, Yngwie actually was the first person I saw do tapping kind of like that. Where... type of deal. It's 12, 8, 10, 12. 12, 8, 10, 12. And then pull off. Yeah, something like that. Well, anyway. Do I want to do that in a seventh? Well, anyway, ladies and germ. Okay, so for definitely the male and female that are out there tonight. Probably, I don't know. Unless you're a guy, Melina. No, I'm kidding. So what I was going to say is that essentially I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to get tired. I'm going to have to pack a few things while doing it. And then, you know, I'm getting out of here. Ingve is totally underrated nowadays. Dude was, I got to tell you, when I saw him back in October, I was totally humbled by that entire experience. I've never seen a guitar player with as much dexterity, speed, accuracy. I just don't think I've never been blown away like this. I've seen guitar players live that I really admire, and this was the first time I was ever flat out just laid out totally. The guy was insanely good. So, still is insanely good. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to have to bail because I've got a really long-ass drive. I got 12 and a half hours plus ahead of me tomorrow. And that's if the traffic is perfect. It's 12 and a half hours. And then 10 and a half hours the next day. I will be tomorrow night. If anybody's interested in meeting up, I'll be in, I think, Orem, Utah. So, and then I'll probably be really freaking tired and want to stand up for a while because I've been sitting down for a long time. Going on with the story in the morning. And I'm filming this whole damn thing, too. Yes, good night. Definitely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%, Brad. 100%. So, again, for anybody who's watching, say goodbye to this. This is the last time you're going to see it from me. Hopefully another YouTuber will pick it up and have a good channel. But, in the meantime, just keep in mind that every time you see a Jackson with this layout, it's really good, but it looks like a little face. It just does. My kid used to draw stuff like this. So, I'm not going to drink at all. There's not even any alcohol at the wedding. It's going to be a funny thing. I really don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything like that. I don't even do anything fun. I'm going to have a cigar in spite of the fact that my compadre, my friend, does not want one. I'm bringing him one anyway, just in case he can put it on his mantle. And I had a cigar just to warm myself up for it yesterday, and I hate them, but it was really nice at the same time. And the reason why I hate them is because they just stick with you. You'll taste them in the morning. Damn it, I brushed twice. Why? And I'm still kind of feeling it today. So, but at any rate, yeah, I won't at all. But I will see you guys at some point. Oh, what I was going to say is kind of a last will and testament. If something bad happens, you won't see me stream again. I will be posting no content or respond on social media. And that's where you'll probably be able to know. But I have it set to where my daughter would pick up, not where I left off. She can't play. But she will in a matter of time, because I've asked her to do this. I've willed her to do this. I'm like, if anything happens, watch this video, do as I say. So she would be creating some sort of content to let everybody know that I'm no longer with you guys. So just saying, I mean, look, I'm 51, I'm traveling alone, and it's a 3,000 essentially mile round trip. So yeah. Smoke and drink, don't be a pansy. No. See, I smoked for 25 years, and as far as drinking is concerned, I just don't like the way I feel after I do. I dry out. I don't. And what really stopped me was after I got that injury. My eye literally just goes, you have no moisture anymore. One drink, one cider, for instance, one beer, done. Dry eye. And I hate it. I don't like the way I feel. I'm not going to do it. Besides, it's also a no alcohol wedding. The entire family is very heavily Christian. Can't do it. Oh, sure. Now that I'm warmed up. Try to have a pleasant trip. I will keep you all in my thoughts. And actually, I might post a few updates here and there. Where do I post? Discord, of course. Anybody wants to join me? By all means, please do. I actually might post a thing or two like a Kirk's Travel vlog. This is the Desert Explorer edition, just like this Tangents and Triads is. And it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a good time one way or the other. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being out of the crap weather, like I've mentioned before. And I am looking very much forward, weirdly enough, already to get back to it. So, but be well out there, everybody. And hopefully no contingencies happen. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon. I hope. Bye, everybody. Good night.